Hello, this is Faith Gadal from Champions of Faith Inc. And I am at my favorite place, Odyssey Family Counseling. I said that I was going to excuse nature. We're going to hear cars, planes, birds. I'm outside, it's more liberating. But when I posted the picture of my meltdown, the before and after, it was a 24-hour time frame. I said I was going to give a brief testimony about it, and that's why I'm here. Now, I want to start off by saying the topic is going to be called A Cry for Help, and I did a message about 2 weeks ago at my church on that, so I'm going to share a few pointers on that as well. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, most of you all in Gadal 360 know my story. I wrote a book about it, The Heart of an Intercessor, autobiography. You can get that on Amazon, as well as The Exchange, my sexual intimacy book that I collaborated with my best friend, Victory. Those are on Amazon. Well, when I was about 5 or 6 years old, I remember one day going to my mom's house. I had completed a visit with my dad, and we were driving, and I kind of like zoned out. And in the zoning, my dad turned around, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I didn't know if I was okay, so I just kind of like stared at my little zone. And he pulled over and got in the back seat with me, and he was like, "You don't have to go back, you know," and he came to my rescue. Now, this isn't to praise my dad or belittle my mom. I believe my mom did the best that she could, but it's just to tell you and give you a little insight. So here we are. We were living in projects with my mom at the time. We went through a lot of drug use and sales, domestic violence, accusations of molestation. A lot of things were going on in the home. And as we grow older, we look back and realize that some of those traumatic experiences have impacted our adulthood. And when you're a child, you really don't know, and you don't get help. You just grow older and older. I got into relationships that resembled the household I was living in and things like that. So fast forward up to about 2013, I was pregnant, and I had a similar experience, but this time it was different. It was pain, it was anger, it was rage, overwhelmment, disappointment. It just began to overtake me where I felt powerless, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't feel like myself. And so I contacted my best friend and my sister, and I just drove myself to my doctor's office because I didn't know where else to go or what to do. When I was living in Minnesota, I didn't have my family and friends and my support system there. I was there on a mission by God, and I was pretty much alone. So I drove myself there, and I talked to my doctor, and I guess she thought I was just pregnant, having an emotional breakdown. And I went to a conference about 2 days after that, and I had went up for prayer, and she was praying for me, and she had mentioned, you just recently felt like you was going to lose your mind, and she was praying over me, all these things, and she didn't know these things, and I just felt a relief by her prayers, and there we go again, somebody to the rescue. Now, here we are again 6 years later, and I've been through a lot of things, with my children, my son and his case, and the breakup with me and my ex, and, just life, bills, parenting, ministry, just being overwhelmed. I clearly understand how some of these people get suicidal. Praise God, that's not my story. I don't ever have thoughts of killing myself or taking my life or any of that. But sometimes life of just giving up, forgetting about the dreams and the goals and cooking and cleaning. No. Depression, anxiety, OCD, these things come to overtake you. And I was talking to my friend, and she was like, "Maybe you might be bipolar." And I was like, "Maybe, because I'm just having a fit." And this particular day, now we're at the picture day. This particular day, I just woke up, and I was just weak. I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. I felt so defeated. And I just felt like I was having a nervous breakdown. Anxiety attack. Like, I was just like, whoa, I'm not on any medications or diagnosis or anything, but I said, I am not myself. This is coming strong and powerful, and it's here to overtake me, whatever this is. And I was just like looking at myself, and I could feel myself, and I was like, what's going on? And I just felt so overwhelmed and depressed and angry and mad and sad, but nothing had happened to me that day. And I just inboxed my friend. I said, I think I'm having a nervous breakdown. Something's wrong with me. I need help. And she began to call my phone, but by then I was crying hysterically and I just couldn't talk. I couldn't move. I was just out of it, just tired, just so tired. And then she began to inbox me encouraging messages and therapists in my area. She had contacted a friend. I mean, she was on it within seconds. And I called my daughter's therapist, and he said I sound so distraught on that phone that he had got me in the next morning. And they did some evaluations on me, and he was like, I think I know what's going on. And he was like, but we need a second opinion, just because. So I went back later on that week, and I got another evaluation, and they was like, this is post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not bipolar. You are perfectly fine. And I'm months into the sessions now. I go weekly, and I'm not bipolar. I'm not crazy. Anyhow, so life, just those experiences, I would be getting healed, and I would move forward and move past it and not let it break me. But I never clearly hadn't gotten to the root of it. And here this stuff going with me years and years and years and years and years of my life. And now it does explain my outrage and angers and outbursts and some of the fights that I've been in and the multiple relationships and the promiscuity, just all this hurt, anger, and rage just tucked down inside that was never dealt with. I would forgive and move forward. The pain, get healing from that pain and get past it. But the root was never plucked up. And that day, boy, I just thought I was done for. And I said, I gotta get help. Something is really wrong with me. Like, for real, like, this is not a joke. I'm not me. Something is wrong with me. And so ever since then, I've been having sessions, and I've been getting to the root, and I've been getting liberated. I've been having some shame and some guilt and some embarrassment because I'm seeing a lot of things that were my fault that I could have done differently. I can't take that back. God's grace is sufficient for me too. And so I'm just moving forward. I am looking forward to my 40-year marriage anniversary. I'm looking forward to living long, healthy, and strong with this wisdom and knowledge. I am considering marriage again, but I will not be like the woman at the well. That's my faith confession. I will not have 5 husbands. But I'm considering, after my therapy, getting married again. But even after my therapy, getting premarital counseling again, just going back with this new mind and this new heart. And I want to encourage somebody. You don't have to be as open and tell your business, but I do to help people, and that's a way to get over it, the guilt, the shame, and embarrassment, to talk about it. And you never know who else God is using you to help deliver or set free. So I just share my stories. But I hope somebody's encouraged by these points, because I did this message at my church a few weeks ago, and I'm going to borrow a few of the points that I gave the ministry. But the title is A Cry for Help. And when you get fed up and you get tired and you want better, you gotta cry out. And if you've been crying out, then let's go to the next step. So first, you need to believe that God is able to heal you, to deliver you, to set you free, to give you the newness. You gotta acknowledge too that something is wrong. You can't be walking in denial and it's everybody else and not you. In my marriages, I had to be the common denominator. Right? These angers and outbursts and just mad. And it's like, why are you mad? I didn't realize that. Had I known something was wrong with me, I could have overcame some of those situations. I could have stayed with my ex that was a great guy, but he would touch my trigger points. And I didn't know anything about that or I even had those. And even though he had issues, had I been strengthened and walking in the knowledge that I am today, I would have been able to bear with him. But I didn't know. And these came from the 2 previous relationships before him that caused me so much damage. Heartbroken when I separated from my first love, my son Champion's father. That took a toll on me because I had dreams, hopes, and expectations for us. God had shared so much with me, and I just wanted it. Even though I'm still getting it, it's just not with that person. You understand? So you got to acknowledge that something's wrong. You got to believe that God can heal, deliver, and set you free. You got to ask him to do it. Closed mouth don't get fed. Whatever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive. Ask and it shall be given. Open your mouth. And then when you do that, go in faith. You know something is wrong. You believe God is able. You ask him to come through. You go in faith like it's already done, calling those things that be not as though they were. Right? But your faith without works is dead. What is your part? Your part is get help. Get accountability partner, somebody that's going to check in on you and make sure that you're going through with your help. Maybe you don't need professional help. Maybe you do. But don't try to do this alone. You can't. Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Get your emotions, your heart under submission to the mind renewal. Fix your mind on the word, what is true, not what you feel, but what you know is true. By the word of God, not by what somebody else told you or what the enemy's putting in your mind, by what the word says. Do you know David in the Bible battled with these same things, anxieties? He had traumas. You go and read some of those Psalms, you'll see he cried out to the Lord and he heard him. He put his fear in God. Anxiety is nothing but fear that you're reliving from the past. And it causes people to act out in different ways, like in depression, OCD. You get in your thoughts, you get in your mind, and it'll begin to overtake you. You have to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But if you don't even know that something is wrong and the battle is in the mind, you don't know where to start. So I encourage you to get some help, whether it be professional or not. And me, I'm overcoming. And when I first found out, I said, not by medication, but by the power of God, because that's where my faith is. I'm not going to take any medication. I'm fine. I got the word. That's medicine for me. If my condition was like somebody else's, or maybe somebody doesn't feel like they're as strong as me, each person has to work out their own situation as they work out their own faith, their own salvation. Maybe you do need it. That's between you and your God and what you believe. But I'm fine, and I've been doing great. I've been having session after session. It's liberating. It puts me in a repentant state of mind to go out and conquer, and I'm excited. That's it. A cry for help. God will hear you, and he will come through. He has angels. He has people in the earth working for him to pull you through. You gotta get bold. You gotta get confidence, and you gotta reach out. Even if you down for the count and on your knees, just lift up that one finger to the hills, and God will come through. That's it for today. This ministry, we are still feeding the homeless. We are still out in the streets witnessing. If you want to be a financial blessing, you can do so. faithgadal@gmail.com, and the Cash App is Faith Gadal as well. If you're one of those people who don't like giving away money, you can purchase Pishon's fragrances. You can purchase Most Favored Nation t-shirts, the MFN t-shirts. The children of Israel were God's most favored nation. The Hebrews, the black people, us, we are God's most favored nation. Represent, okay? I love you guys. I hope somebody is blessed and is going to get the help that they need, be it mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, whatever it is. Don't just sit there. Your children are depending on you. God needs you. Don't just sit there, reach out. I thank God to have a friend that I felt safe enough to contact that wasn't going to deem me crazy. And I was even more excited when the counselors and therapists said, girl, you ain't crazy. You ain't got no bipolar. PTSD is common, especially for those who went through severe traumas, breakups, car accidents, divorces, slip and falls, concussions, whatever traumatized you. If you still letting that thing go with you, you're giving power. You're giving your power to it. Overcome. Get your power back. I felt so powerless, even though I had my strength, and I had to go to work and open up. My supervisor was going away, and he said, can you just open up and I'll be there? And I said yes, not knowing I would be attacked that morning. Hadn't brushed my teeth, hadn't showered, anything. And all I could think of was my loyalty. This is $1 million business. I said, if I don't open up this business, that man will lose his job. I can get a doctor's excuse because I'm in a situation. I went, and that's what that picture I posted, that's exactly how I looked when I went. But I had to come through. I gave him my word. I'm a woman of my word. If I don't keep my word, I must have forgot. But I am a stickler, and I dislike people who don't keep their word. But yes, and I showed up, and when he got there, I said, I gotta go. You know, all this zoning out, in a daze, you know, just hurt, just pain. It just came and it just built up all at once. And I hear these traumas are making me angry when my guy pushed certain buttons and he don't know and I don't know. And I wonder why I'm so angry and mad, don't have the patience for him. And it's just like, whoa. Or when the kids do something, I'm snapping. Or when I'm getting fed up with these jobs and these supervisors and the way they treat me, and I'm just snapping. It's like they are all triggering areas that are undealt with. Showing signs of betrayal or neglect or a lack of compassion. Traumas. But that's the last plane. I done talked enough. We had about 15 minutes. I love y'all. I hope y'all are encouraged. This message is special for Gadal 360. I will be making more and spreading them. But of course, there's always going to be special ones for you all because you all are special.